I believe that so often our society, we've become so technological that we forgot about the land. We've given responsibility for water to the government and to companies. We've given the farming responsibilities to either government or big business. And then we complain about the GMOs they put in food. We complain about pesticides and all this kind of stuff. And yet God is asking the question, how come you're not farming? You know, who told you to give up your 50 acres of land that your grandmama had? Who told you to give up the 10 acres that your great grandmother had? Who told you to give up the 100 acres that your family had? And then move into the city and depend on government and big business and your 401k and your 9 to 5. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying those things are wrong, but we've put ourselves between a rock and a hard place. We have forfeited temperance. Temperance means self-control, balance. We became so city-minded and we totally forgot about the land. I believe God is saying, hey, recognize both. Like, we can still progress, we can still embrace technology, but don't forget the land. The land doesn't go through a recession. The land doesn't go through inflation or deflation. You know, if you plant, you're gonna reap a harvest, and it doesn't matter what's going on in the earth. What's going on, family? This is Samuel Genus with Jesus Church. We're out here on the multi-acre property where we will be building our small community. We're not just trying to build a church, a local church. We're actually attempting to create a vibrant, physical community where people who want to live together in peace, centered around Christ, be in a community within a community. This is where we're actually going to be putting that to action, like actually building a community. We're going to have some tiny homes out here. We're going to have a farm. We're building a sustainable community. So we're going to have a farm where we grow vegetables, and we're going to have livestock. We're going to have chickens and small livestocks. We're going to have a big community barn where it's like a multi-purpose room. We're going to have internet. We won't have fiber, unfortunately, but we'll have enough internet so that for those of you who work from home, you'll be able to work here. And the city, or I'm not going to say the city, but like, you know, Walmart, Lowe's, stuff like that, is basically within 10 to I would say 10 to 30 minutes from here. Different stores, 10 to 30 minutes. There's I think there's an urgent care and a small hospital that's about 30 miles from here. And so we thought about that. We're about 2 hours from Myrtle Beach, and we're like 2 hours from Charlotte. So we're like kind of right in between. And so the goal is to build a community, a real community, a sustainable community that's centered around Christ, where people who want to get out of the rat race, or people who just want to be in a much more pleasant environment, where you can be at more peace, be around people, the people of God, you know, maybe regroup, you know, for those of you maybe who grew up in the city and you now would like to just be in a more slower paced environment, this will be a perfect place for you. We still going to be connected to the world. We still going to be doing evangelism. You know, I still have my house in Charlotte, but this is like a secondary location. And so for those of you who live in inner cities and stuff like that, and yet you're also paying attention to what's happening in the economy, and you want to prepare yourself, we encourage you to partner with us. We're going to be opening membership opportunities, because this is a real community. We're going to be opening membership opportunities to live here. You know, we're doing everything by the book. You know, the paperwork and all that stuff like that. This is not a cult. So, you know, so for those of you like, oh my God, they're trying to build a cult. No, we're not. You know, we're trying to build a loving, sustainable community that is centered around Christ, that is centered around good men, good women, who's trying to raise their family in a godly way. And so for those of you who just would like to be a part of that, we're calling this location Goshen. All right. And for those of you who've read the book of Exodus, you know that in Egypt, the children of Israel lived in the land of Goshen, but yet Goshen was a place in Egypt. And I believe that we're living in those times as well, that not just us, but I believe that the church needs to begin to really think about creating Goshens all over the world. Right? So whether you're in Africa, Canada, Australia, United States, Russia, South America, wherever you are, China, North Korea, wherever you are, we need to start thinking as a community. We need to be a nation within a nation. And so that's what we're doing out here. Also, for those of you, yes, I have my gun out here because we're we're in the country and I have no idea what kind of animals are out here. So I'm not going to be naive and just act like all the animals love me, so don't be turned off by the gun. For those of you who understand country living, you get me. All right. So here we are. This is Goshen. It's a small Goshen, right? It's not like 100 acres, but it's enough to have about 40 people here. We can grow a sustainable garden to feed those 40 people. We can have enough animals to feed those 40 people. We're going to have unlimited water supply because this particular area, ladies and gentlemen, it's a gold mine for water. So, you dig a well in this area, you're going to have water for the rest of your life in this area. So you're not going to have to worry about running out of water. You're not going to have to worry about running out of sunlight, right? The land is vibrant. It's going to grow. You drive through this city here and you just see crops all over the place. And I keep telling people, the land will feed you, okay? The food is in the ground, right? And so I'm highly technological. I'm a computer programmer, computer engineer. I love technology. I love smartphones and computers and internet and all that good stuff. I enjoy AI. I understand that these technologies in the wrong hands is going to be a problem, and it will be a problem, and I get that. But also in the right hands, it'll do some good. However, I believe that so often our society, we've became so technological that we forgot about the land. We've given responsibility for water to the government and to companies. We've given the farming responsibilities to either government or big business. And then we complain about the GMOs they put in food. We complain about pesticides and all this kind of stuff. And yet God is asking the question, how come you're not farming? Who told you to give up your 50 acres of land that your grandmama had? Who told you to give up the 10 acres that your great-grandmother had? Who told you to give up the 100 acres that your family had and then move into the city and depend on government and big business and your 401k and your 9-to-5? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying those things are wrong, but we've put ourselves between a rock and a hard place. We have forfeited temperance. Temperance means self-control, balance. We became so city-minded and we totally forgot about the land. And then some people are so land-oriented that they don't pay attention to progress and modern technology. I believe God is saying, hey, recognize both. Like, we can still progress, we can still embrace technology, but don't forget the land. Don't forget the beauty, the blessings, and the favor that God puts on the land. Because here's one thing we know about land. The land doesn't go through a recession. The land doesn't go through inflation or deflation. It could be, all those things are man created and created by man. But this is not affected by recession. This is not affected by the housing market. This is not affected by inflation or deflation. If you plant, you're going to reap a harvest. And it doesn't matter what's going on in the earth. You're going to receive a harvest. So there is no reason why the church should not have water. There is no reason why the church should not have food. There is no reason why the church should not have the basic things they need to survive. All right. There's no reason, because God already put it all in the land. All right. If we don't have it, it's because we've outsourced it to the wrong people. If we don't have it, is because we've delegated those responsibilities to other people, and they keep putting a price tag to everything, right? And we don't want to do that anymore. So we want to embrace technology, but we also want to embrace all of this. You know, we want to work in our 9 to 5, but we also want to work in the land, and we want to be in a position where we can be blessed by both. All right. Out here, we're going to build what we can afford. Right out here, there ain't going to be, oh, let's go to the bank so we could build a house. Out here, no, we only build houses we can afford. So we're not building 3,000 square foot houses. We're building tiny homes. Why? Because we're not trying to go into debt, right? That's what they do in the city. That's what the rest of the world is doing. Out here, we're only going to build what we can afford. We're going to live within our means. All right. So that is one of the biggest cultural mindsets that we have to have. That's the reset that we need to understand from a biblical perspective, from a godly perspective. All right. So this is Goshen. This is our attempt at creating Goshen with the help of the Lord and with your help. This is where we would live, right? This is where our children will play. This is where we would work from or go to work from here, you know, and commute, you know. But over time, this will get bigger and bigger. Over time, there'll be more than one. Right? Hopefully you will create one. For those of you who may be in other states, hopefully you will create one. You and your church will come together, and instead of building more church buildings, you'll just come out here and locate a place that has 50 to 100 acres. Like, that's way more cheaper than building a church. You know, I would argue it will cost you more money to build a church in a storefront than it would for you to come out here and get 50 acres of land somewhere near your city. So this stuff that I'm talking about, it is very possible. And so I hope that you allow the Lord to open up your understanding and your eyes so that you can see what I'm talking about, and not wait until the last minute. All right. Because stuff is happening to America and we need to be prepared. All right. So again, this is Goshen. And for those of you who want to be a part of this, you can go to our website, jesuschurchworldwide.com/Project Goshen. That's www.jesuschurchworldwide.com/Project Goshen. On there, you'll be able to put in your email. There'll be a little bit more information about what we're doing here. We'll answer questions. If you got questions that we didn't answer on that page, there'll be an email and a phone number you can contact to speak to us. If you would like to be a part of it, go to that website, fill out the form, and come visit us. And, you know, take a look at what we're doing, take a look at where we're doing it, and see if you want to be a part of that. All right. So we're giving an open invitation for those of you who are Christ-like, who wants to be in a Christ-centered community. You know, you may be a little bit fed up with the rat race and you're just looking for a more slower pace. You're still looking to do the will of the Lord, but you want to be in a community with real brothers and sisters that love God and that love you. All right. And so again, go to jesuschurchworldwide.com/Project Goshen, fill out the form, call us, and I'll answer any questions you may have. And if you would like to be a member and a community member, then I'll show you how you can be a part of that. All right. So this is going to be a lot of work. You know, we're going to be digging a well within the next 30 to 40 days. We'll be digging a well, putting in the septic, clearing off all this land, and then we're going to start like scoping out with the survey on where we're going to put the properties. You know, what kind of roads we're going to bring in here, and we're just going to start building. So keep us in your prayers. And for those of you who want to be a part of it, reach out to us, go to our website, and so that we can connect. All right. My name is Samuel Genus with Jesus Church. Hopefully I'll see you. Take care.